Do you know one thing that's honest? It makes me nervous to have other people in the car with me. I drive totally different with a passenger.
Really?
Yes. When we went to D.C. that time, I was so nervous. So nervous. Other people in the car made me nervous. I got bad nerves. I know what I'm doing, and I know when I ride in the car with my husband, like if you don't hit the brakes soon enough, I freak out. So I can only imagine what people are experiencing in the car with me. So I'm just like very sensitive to, you don't know I'm about to bust this U-turn real hard. Don't be scared, right? So it makes me nervous.
I am reading a book. It's called Traffic by a guy named Tom Vanderbilt. And studies have been done that people, when they are by themselves, they take more risk, in driving. So they drive totally different than they do when they're with someone because of shame.
You're going to judge me.
Yeah. Like that person is right there. And then something else that was interesting, he was saying that people are, in a sense, when they get in a car, they are an extension of the car. So they kind of like project themselves into that space beyond the car.
I think they become like Transformers, honestly. This is a pet peeve already. I think people get in cars and they act like they literally just got into an Autobot and they are invincible and F everyone else. And this is what I'm fitting to do in my Autobot.
Welcome back to Who Taught You How to Drive, popping the hood on humanity, a quirky, comical look at identity through the lens of driving. I'm your host, Tezarah, and every other week, I'll ride shotgun with a new guest. Today, I'm riding shotgun with Erica Hawthorne Manon.
Yeah, I just turned down the music. I was bumping Big Crit. I just cracked the windows with the air on because that is a preference. You good? You good?
I'm good.
All right.
I'm good. My guest this week loves Philadelphia. She really does. But Erica has some serious homegrown Midwest beef with our driving behaviors here in Philly. Like many of the conversations on this show, this one returns again to family and the gifts they impart that stay with us no matter where we end up planning our routes. Stay tuned for this week's episode. Reparations all day. Come ride with us.
Yeah, I'm really excited because when you first started the show, I was so hyped because I have so many, I moved here from the Midwest, so it's been a very stark reality learning how to drive here on the East Coast.
So
15 years later, still haven't adjusted.
I think that's something that I definitely wanted to talk about with you because you grew up in a different place. I don't know if you drove in that. Mm-hmm. So you were of driving age. So you have experience in other places driving.
Yeah.
Could you tell us a little bit about how and where you grew up?
So I am from Kansas City, Missouri. Born and raised in Kansas City, Missouri side. People always ask which side. And then went to high school and spent the rest of my years in the Suburban side in Kansas. And my first job moved me to Minneapolis. I was a hall director, which nobody knows what that was. The grown-up that lived in the building with a whole bunch of college students and made sure nobody burned the building down. Or when you got in trouble.
Director.
Yeah, then when you got in trouble, the person you got to go stare at, that person. So I didn't have to drive because literally my office was where I lived, whatever. But still, when I did, it was Midwest driving, right? And then I moved to the East Coast, and yes, sweet baby Jesus. It was, I remember my first time driving on the highway. I'm not even Catholic. I think I did like 5 Hail Marys. There was like no merge lane, and they have this thing where you have to look. I've never seen this before. You get on the highway, they ask you to yield, which basically you have to stop because traffic is coming hot and heavy. At the time I moved here, I was driving a Toyota Corolla. Now, I love my car, right? But a Corolla is not designed to go from 0 to 60. It's just, they ain't built it like that yet. Maybe, the 2019 will do that now. But so you're at this yield, you're basically at a stop, waiting for this traffic coming at you like 60, let's be honest, 75 miles an hour. And now you're supposed to merge. You ain't got no lane to merge. You're supposed to just hit the gas and gun it into traffic. So the first time I had to do this, I didn't know there was an merge lane. So I was driving and realized I was about to just drive myself into all kinds of traffic. It was definitely an adjustment. on the East Coast.
So did you know that you are actually supposed to just ride out into the... You're not supposed to stop at the...
Yeah, and did you know that as a driver on the highway, you're supposed to, when you see people trying to get on the highway, move over?
Yes.
Does that happen
into
in
the
Philly?
Left lane? Of
no.
course not.
Okay, so literally, like, I'm not going to try to prove a point with my life. Like, me and this Corolla just going to gun it. I might lose my entire engine, drop out, but we'll make this happen.
Do they not have, like, merging lanes where you are from, or is it that people know to move over to the left?
They actually have a whole lane dedicated to you to pick up speed and reach your fullest potential before you move into traffic. This is what any sane person would do. What animal is that like looks behind ostrich, like looks backwards but runs full force forward?
Oh yes, to the side.
That's crazy. So that's basically what you have to do. It's just you just have faith all around. Like,
right? Yeah.
Yeah. No. In the Midwest, you literally go onto the highway and you pick up speed because that lane is yours for a good considerable amount of time. So then you can humanely merge into traffic like what normal people would do. But here on the East Coast, it's like, welcome to Philly. Oh. Like, I romanticized the whole East Coast, so I just knew I was going to be like Love Jones Part 2. Up in here. I was going to sing background for Joe Scott. It was going to be fabulous. I had a unique experience because I am a driver. So I moved here. I thought I was finding an apartment close to the city. It was in East Oak Lane, which was like going down Broad Street very slowly, like 30 minutes. But because I lived in East Oak Lane, I had my first job was at Swarthmore College.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Right? So I drove out there. And then because I was a performance artist, you know, it's going different places like West Philly and Center City and all this good stuff. So I actually felt like I got to see a lot of the city in my first 5 years. I got to really see a lot of different parts of the city.
All right, so tell me about your experience learning how to drive. How old were you, and who taught you how to drive?
It took a village, first of all.
Oh, my God.
No. The first person actually to teach me how to drive was my cousin, Elise, and it was literally random. It was like we were getting in the car one day to go somewhere, and she's like, you get in the driver's seat. And I was like, excuse me? And she's like, yeah, you're going to drive. It's time. I was like, 12. Maybe not. Allegedly. So we got in the car, and I'm driving, and my mother had always had a stick. What do they call it? Is that an automatic? Is that considered an automatic or standard? Which I don't know the difference.
The manual is
manual. Yeah. So my mom drove a stick, and I swore I would never drive a stick because one, it just seemed like you felt like a robot. You like had to use both hands, both feet, whatever. And then my mother wore these bangle bracelets. God bless her. I hope she listens to this. And literally every time she would shift, it'd be like, and it just literally, my young little brain was just like, never. I am never driving a stick. So luckily my cousin had a standard, whatever you call it, said get in the car. But the only way I knew how to drive was with 2 feet, watching my mom, right? That's obviously not the way you're supposed to drive a car. I think bad things will happen. But I could not let go of this because I was like, what if I need to brake? What if I need to gas? I need both feet. It's like safety. And so finally she was like, look, you put 1 foot in that seat in your lap and stop driving with 2 feet. I'm going to pinch you really hard on your nipple. And I was like, oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. So
you
of course,
put that foot in the lap.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do it, right? Because that just seemed like real tragic. And so that's how, we would go to like random places and she would let me drive. And it was going well. I think we did this for some months. I don't know. And then we went to the mall one day and she said, okay, put it in park. And I guess something malfunctioned in my brain. I don't know. I thought I was stepping on the brake. I stepped on the gas. I went over the median in the mall. And that was the end of our lesson. So that was villager number 1. Gone. She's like, gone. The next person was my father. I moved in with my father and my stepmom and my brother when I was 13. And so by 14, it was time for me to kind of get ready to get my permit, maybe 15 even. My dad had a 2-seater Toyota truck. I hated this car. It was a stick shift. And in my mind, I was like, never. I'm left-handed also, so it just feels like, felt like I should revolt.
Yeah.
So he took me out driving, and it just seemed so awful. It was just like, it was jerky if you didn't do the clutching thing just right, and how did you know? And so I just jerked the heck out of him. I just was like, I'm just protesting. I don't want this car, and I know what you're doing. You don't want me to have friends in the car, so you give me this ugly 2-seater Toyota. Every lesson, I was the worst, and so he gave up. every once in a while he would let me drive the other car. So proud of myself. I was driving so well. One day he was like, okay, I had to go to an NAACP youth council meeting. It was down the street, 5 minutes. He's like, you can drive. I was like, oh, I'm hyped. It was the nice family car. So I was like, oh my gosh, put my seatbelt on, adjusted my mirrors, was trying to show off like I know what I'm doing. Got all the way to my friend's house where the meeting was. Got out and I was like, what is that smell? What's burning? Your car, it's a new car, but it's burning. Something wrong. Our driveway was flat, right? Ain't no reason to put on the emergency brake on flat land, but that's what he did. He extra safe, right? So I basically drove to my friend's house for this meeting all the way up and down hills with the emergency brake on. Burnt up all the just.
I've actually done that before.
Isn't that the worst?
Yeah, it is.
Anyway, so that was the second villager. Then my aunt negotiated with my father because she wanted me to babysit my cousin. So she said, look, I know this is the summer she's supposed to be learning how to drive, so I'll teach her how to drive back and forth going, you know, whatever. So that was the third villager. She lasted. That was really great. I drove safely. My dad came back around and taught me how to parallel park, which I'm very proud of my parallel parking skills. So 3 people, 3 villagers, and I finally got my license.
I don't know how you would describe yourself as a driver now. Would you say that you were a good driver?
Oh, I'm defensive as hell. I'm out here with like a helmet, elbow pads. I want all side airbags. People out here, they don't care. They don't care. I feel like my biggest concern driving is I just drive very consciously because I think people get in the car and they forget that you're part of the human race and we're all out here trying to get someplace, right? And so I just drive very defensive. I got bad nerves. I got bad nerves. So I'm watching everybody. Are you coming over? You use your blinker? You know I'm over here? Like I am. I'm a little scary.
How often would you say that you drive?
Every day almost. And funny enough, I actually like driving, but in like quiet, scenic routes, right? Like if I haven't been out, if I've been in the house, I work from home, I take a lot of the off the beaten path kind of routes to get places. Like I pride myself in knowing how to get places multiple ways without doing the main thoroughfare. So even coming here, I had to take a main way, you know, for part of the way, but the rest of the way I kind of routed around the back way, and I like doing that.
Something interesting that you said was that you feel like people lose their humanity when they get in a car. You also said that you like to take the off the beaten path. So essentially you're kind of by yourself. So you feel more comfortable without a passenger. So how are you connecting to humanity?
I see like, what how you did do you there. That's the question, yes. So you're a loner, but
No, I think that's interesting though, because then how do you still maintain that connection with like other people on the road with you?
Well, because I care. I care about how I'm impacting other people. Like, I care if I block the box. I'm mindful that if the traffic is backed up and there's no room in front of me, and I don't pull out to the middle because it would be selfish for me to pull out to the middle to secure my turn and then block the people. So I think about those things. So even though, yes, and that's usually why I kind of like going solos, because it can be stressful because it feels like so many people around me aren't mindful. It's kind of like where they want to go, what they want to do. But that's how accidents happen, is because we're not concerned about each other. And I'm really embarrassed to say one time I chased down a woman for not being very concerned. She was driving very aggressively on Lincoln Drive, and I was like, I said, what we doing? How's it feel when I do it? And I was like, that's probably not the best choice. I called 911 on myself. I did. Yeah, she was driving really aggressively. And you know, Lincoln Drive I have so many problems with it. I avoid it at all costs because there's no dividing lane, and it's like I'm gonna sneeze and we can take everybody out. But people drive on there like it's a highway. It's not. And that's really a time to be mindful. And she was aggressively pulling up behind one person and wanting to get over and zigzagging, and it was scary. And then I was like, please don't do that to me. And then she dipped around and she cut people off. And so she finally ended up in my lane and cut me off. And when I say I honked her down, and then she made a sharp right off one of these side streets, so I made a sharp right, and she made a sharp left, and I made a sharp left. And all of a sudden the whole energy changed because she was the aggressor up to that point. And then when it was switched on her, then she literally became scared and the victim. And then that's when my road rage came in. I was like, yeah, how's it feel? But then I was like, Erica, in my mind, I was like, Erica, what are you doing? And I was like, revenge. I don't know. We literally were going through a neighborhood and there was people out like doing yard work, and she rolled down the window and had the nerve to be like, this woman's chasing me. And I was like, this be. So then I got Don't ask me why it made sense. I called the police and I was like, I would like to report an erratic driver. And I'm driving erratically too. And then it's just, but let me give you this license plate number before I hang up. Yeah, so I want to count that in the category of righteous indignation, just for the record. But yeah, so I think I like what driving, the privilege that driving does for any of us who drive, right? It's a privilege to be able to choose where you go and how you go there. In privilege, I think what we get wrong many times is privilege is not just the action, it's also how you think about equality and fairness. And when I'm driving, I'm thinking about that of other people. Like, I appreciate this privilege. It is a privilege and a gift, and I want other people to be able to appreciate that safely.
What makes you horny?
So, Erica, what makes you horny?
Some of my pet peeves have nothing to do with other people driving. It's just the conditions. Like, so that non-merge lane situation goes up there. This whole thing of you pull over to talk to somebody to pause. One, you don't put on hazard lights. I don't even think people know how to use their hazard lights, which is the lights that blink both at the same time, right? People. I've seen people turn on the right blinker, which is supposed to interpret, hey, I've pulled over to the right and I'm not moving. That's not what that means. It means I'm turning right, but whatever. Right. Or I've seen people stop and turn on their left blinker, which means, hey, go around me. That's also not what that means. It's the hazards that say, I've come to a stop and I'm not moving. The other thing I tried to figure out was, what is this thing where we're both facing the light turns green and you hurry up and turn left in front of me real quick? Oh, yeah. That, John? Okay, all right. I'm pretty sure that's illegal, right?
Is it?
Oh my gosh, hands down, always is the they are evil. They are actually the arc of evil.
The arc of it. Was that like beginning, middle, and end?
Yeah, they are like the whole bell curve. Yo, so when I first moved to Philly, in the Midwest, we also have parking meters, right? And they mean it. You should park, right? But there's a nice Midwest grace period. Hey, we know you're probably shopping or doing something, and if your meters run down, you'll probably be there within 2 to 5 minutes and move on. That's usually what happens, and we do. Right? Here, it's like, oh, you 30 seconds late? Ticket. I didn't even actually know where these fools came from. I don't know if they were rappelling off of buildings or sliding out from under cars, but these bastards would just roll up. I knew that it was an egregious act against my humanity when I was walking down the block. Now, I had 2 choices. I could get hit by a car running through traffic to save my meter, or I could yell out and say, I'm right here. And they were writing the ticket, and I say, I'm right here. Everybody's had that experience. I'm right here. One act like they can't hear. Oh, all of a sudden, you can't hear me. All right. But then I rolled up on them, yelling, running, screaming through traffic, whatever. And then they were like, all right, started writing the ticket. Well, stop writing it. It just, what kind of response is that even? Anyway, they're just mad aggressive. They're unrelenting. They're unforgiving. I'm so glad there's now a pay app, John. They will.
Oh, yes.
That is like my superpower. So I had a bright idea, allegedly. I know this is being recorded. I will deny it, so it doesn't matter. I remember I used to work for a developer, right? He used to get these catalogs. And in this catalog, they have all these, like, I'm a nerd, so I love, like, supplies and equipment. Don't ask me why. So if you own property, they had, like, these things, like, you know, the cigarette johns or the cones or all these supplies you would need. But I turned to a page and they had a boot on it. So if you own a property and somebody parks illegally, you can buy for $250 this boot. And the first thing that came to my mind was, like, I'm going to boot the reparations all day, bitches. I was so hyped, and I was like, in my mind, I literally, the music started playing. I started getting scenes of the Italian Job. How me and 5 friends were going like a practice.
That was one of my favorite
in
movies.
An abandoned garage, right? Like how to jump out the car, throw this boot on, jump back in the car, and roll out. Because I remember one day I was like going to a meeting early in the morning. I saw them in Old City, and it was like a van, and like 10 of them popped out like a circus car, and I was like, oh, it's on. And all I could think about was this boot, and I was like, wouldn't it be so beautiful justice is that they were going out giving people unrelentless tickets if we just jumped out the ride. That's like the best rap song. That's the most gangster rap song ever. Booted the what can them fools say? I was about to curse. Anyway. So that was my dream. So they're on the top of my list of what makes me horny.
I love that idea. And actually, I feel like I was downtown one time and I saw that van, and in my head I was like, why would the need an entire van?
Yeah, like a circus car of the just. The point is, what do you want? What do you want? Do you want me downtown shopping and spending my money, or do you not?
Exactly.
Right? And when I first moved here, I was shocked by going downtown to hang out with friends, and before I could even get out my car out the garage, I'd already spent snick snack and drink money. Are you kidding me?
All right, so you hate the like everybody.
Like, no, you didn't say it right. The day we have a guest that's like, I understand where they're coming from, though. You should just stop the interview immediately. Like,
I want to talk. I really do try to, like, maybe speak from point of view sometimes, but it never works. Like, halfway in, I'm like,
whatever.
What the fuck? Like, why would y'all do it? You're like, maybe
there's no empathy. Sorry, that's
the people. Maybe people shout in their face all the time.
That's the only place that I have humanity for them. Is like, that's got to be rough. You got to make money. You got to pay bills. But yeah, to have a job that immediately people hate you for it. Yo.
Now, this is where you really get in trouble with being reflective. I want to dog the PPA. Trust, I do. But when you put in the context of being another person's job, I don't know. I mean, like, you do kind of seem to get a sick thrill out of that shit. Nah, I'm definitely still gonna hate. Do you get tickets?
The only one time I got a ticket that was not a parking ticket, this is actually really funny because I lived off of 63rd Street and I lived in an apartment where I could see my car from the bathroom, and I hadn't done my tags yet. I just got a little late. On it. I know. And so, allegedly, I was sitting in the bathroom with the window open, looking at nature, thinking, contemplating life, and doing things you do in the bathroom. And I saw the police go up the street and stop in my car, and I knew immediately what they were doing. They were about to give me a ticket for having expired tags. Yo, I got out of that bathroom so fast. And to this day, I'm so grateful that my hair was already, like, braided, because I would have been looking a hot mess. And I'm telling you, I spritz myself with perfume. I have cute privilege. Sometimes I use it. I'm not afraid to admit that. First step of having privilege is just to admit that you have it.
I don't have that.
I have cute privilege and I use it when I can. And at the time I had my hair twisted and all was cute, whatever, so I didn't need much. Right? My eyebrows are already done. So
oh my God.
I ran up out and I literally went like Gone with the Wind, dramatic. I was like, oh my God. Anyway, long story short, I did not get a ticket, but they was about to ticket my whole situation. But yeah, I saved myself. It's just the who are evil to give me tickets.
So do you only use your pretty privilege for the...
It don't work on the... It don't even work. Yo, I can't stand it. Let's move on, because I'm going to incriminate myself on... I cannot stand them. I think they're so aggressive. I think they have ulterior motives. I think they're not humane. I think they charge too much. Like, how does a ticket start? First of all, how's it even start at $36? And then I just heard of people just getting their stuff towed. Oh, I did get my car towed one time. Yo, that was so dramatic. Anyway, yeah, they're just evil. And just leave it at that.
Torque of the tail. Torque of the tail.
So I found an article, and it was in the New York Times. The headline is Amazon pushes fast shipping, but avoids responsibility for the human cost.
I was about to say, where is going? Because I'm an Amazon Prime member, and
I'm a Prime member too. But you know how they are trying to get like faster and faster and faster with their shipping. Like in some instances, you can order something on the same day and get something like that very same day.
It's a little addictive, but yes.
Yes. So in an effort to increase how quickly people are getting, 60 accidents have happened since June of 2015. So some of these accidents are like causing like fatalities. Recently, an Amazon driver was delivering packages and then they smashed or crashed into the back of a car, and then like a 9-month-old baby ended up passing away.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, what do I think?
Yeah.
This kind of goes back to what I'm saying. One, this is why I take side roads. You know, what I'm about to say has little to do with driving as much as, again, this is what plays the role in all the things we do, right? So not to lose our humanity, we keep going for more, like top, bottom, more. One, my life right now is about depth, right? How to make things richer, how to be more efficient. That's crazy. I think that's crazy. And it's like, at what cost? Usually we're rushing to get more faster because we haven't been more planful, right? Like, is there a value anymore for slowing down and taking your time and not seeing that as a loss, but actually seeing that as time wealth? Is the fact that we can take our time, saunter, right? Let people over on the highway. So everybody's not manic and whatever. It speaks to a deeper thing that I don't know what snaps us out of it, to realize that we can all take a pause and fall back a little bit. You know, like I said, I'm an Amazon Prime member. I love getting my stuff, but not at the expense of somebody, you know, dying, losing their life, or rushing. I think it speaks to a bigger issue that we are having, is how we wrestle with being okay with slowing down and taking our time and having more depth and width, which represents richness to me, right? Being able to really sit with stuff and take our time to do stuff. And I love getting my Amazon orders. It's wonderful. But exactly, I don't want anybody losing their life in exchange for my new waffle iron, allegedly.
Allegedly.
You made me sign a waiver, so I gotta make sure everything I say legally protects me from the shank.
The shank.
Red light, green light.
Red light, green light.
This is our red light, green light segment.
Okay.
I'm going to give you actual questions from the driver's manual.
Oh my gosh, I talk so much shit about people in the driver's test. Watch me fail. Can I tell you though, I think people should have to think I think after a certain time you should have to retake your driver's test, because you forget all the effing rules. First of all, there would be no left turns in front of me on a green light. That's what would happen. And then unfortunately, just because it's the only way I'm going to convince my grandmama to stop driving, is because if you can't pass this test, you can't get in your Kia. Real talk. But you realize there's no time where we check and see if people are still good to drive, or you take a driver's test when you're like 15, 16, and then we never ask you for a refresher. That's why we got left, right blinkers, pause in the middle of the street. That's why. Go ahead, test me.
Our first question is, when planning to make a turn, you should activate your turn signals 2 car lengths before reaching the intersection, or 3 to 4 seconds before reaching the intersection.
2 car lengths before reaching the intersection.
3 to 4 seconds.
How you gonna penalize me for being early? First of all, I'm telling you as soon as possible. Because have you ever seen, you've ever seen, first of all, the other driving rule is it gives a car length, right, of space between you and another car, at least a car length, right? But people ain't doing that on the East Coast. So they rolling right up on your ass. I'm giving them about 50 seconds. I'm letting them know I'm turning like 5 blocks away. It could be now, or it could be now. Either way, stay off my back. So no, I don't care what the book says. I'm starting 15 car lengths in advance. You don't know about this thing.
Because I don't like when people have it on for too long.
Be cautious. Pay attention. Stay focused. Be ready. Stay ready. You don't have to get ready. Not running into my bumper. Nope. I'm going to tell you, I'm turning for 5 minutes.
If a vehicle is using high beams that comes towards you, you should sound your horn or flash your high beams.
Well, that's like felt like a trick question. Why do they have the high beams on the first part? Because they can't see. They can't see. What am I? I'm probably gonna flash them like, turn it down. I can't see either. That's not the right answer, is it? It is. You flash them, yes. I can't see either. You're not the only one in these streets trying to see. Yeah, that's how it happens. I kind of live in the city suburbs now, so there's a lot of high beaming going on.
Oh, because of the darkness. Because of the darkness,
you gotta, and I empathize. Yes, I know you're trying to see, but I'm in these streets trying to see too.
So you got that one right.
Okay,
our last question.
Okay, here we go.
Crashes in work zones are most commonly the result of carelessness and speeding, or hydroplaning because of water on the road.
Isn't that the same damn thing? If you being careless and speeding on some rain, you probably gonna hydroplane and run all up into the shit. I feel like these are trick questions, Tezarah. I'm going to pick, just to be adventurous, hydroplaning.
Wrong.
It is? It's speeding and careless driving?
Careless, yes.
Well, that would go along with my stereotype of people not having their humanity when they get into the car. That's how you bring this whole conversation full circle.
When I get towards work zones, I actually do feel compelled to slow down, because it's like, you feel like it might be people standing out. Or like when you see a car on the shoulder.
But now they have all these signs that say, slow down. People's families are at work. Violations. Like, no, you got to double down and tell people. So I only got 1 out of 3.
Oh, yes.
I did. So back to being an old auntie riding in the Uber. All right.
So if you took your driver's test
I would fail.
You would not be able to drive home.
Driver's test questions?
Yes, it's straight from the Pennsylvania manual.
Well, everybody need to run
you
that
got
back.
your license in Kansas, so maybe your book said different things.
Maybe it did. I don't know. Oh, that's light shade. Light
You said you're not in Kansas anymore. Let me ask you this. So you sent me an email saying that we needed to have some big crit banging in the Jeep.
Oh my gosh.
Yo. So what essentials do you need when you're driving in a car?
Music or podcast. Actually, this is how I know I'm a real grown-up, is because if it's not NPR, it's some kind of talk radio podcast. And my favorite thing, I have to admit, is, so I do live now in the city suburbs, and I kind of grew up in the burbs a little bit, and I don't like being stereotyped. I feel like one of the gifts my mom gave me and my parents gave me was anywhere that I am, that's where I'm supposed to be. Mm-hmm. So when I go grocery shopping on the main line, my favorite thing to do is to bump Big Crit as loud as possible, leaving that grocery store parking lot. Because I'm here too. It's just with my groceries. Big Crit all day. There's something about being in your car that you're partially outside, but not really, that I totally get needing, like feeling the sound. Except for emergency, you're not gonna hear the ambulances. So you gotta, it's only low risk we're taking here. But otherwise, I totally understand. Now, the one thing I can't totally respect is when your beats are doing more than your car. So you know what I'm talking about. It's like where the beats are so rich, but the car is like maybe rattling a little bit, so you don't know which one is gonna win. You don't know. You don't know if the beats are gonna finally just break the car down. But look, respect. That's what you got. You roll with it.
I thought I had a problem with my speakers with the rattle, but it was just because stuff was in the door. So I had to like take that out, and then I felt a lot better.
Then you felt a lot better.
I was like, okay, we could bang this.
My
now.
only essential is a clean car and music. I am the person that I don't do the clutter in the car.
Your car was very clean when I got in.
It's clean. It's usually clean. It has to have a little bit of smell goods, but obviously my husband's sensitive, so I'll put the whole potpourri tray. Matter of fact, if the whole back could be potpourri, I'd be fine, but he might pass out a little bit. So smell goods, clean car, and good music or good podcast. And the other thing that I appreciate is that in the car, it's kind of like, it is your own little space a little bit. So I talk to myself allegedly. And so, but I feel judged a little bit. So I put one earphone in on the side where people can see, so they don't know. That's a secret, and I'll deny it if you bring it back up. But I put one headphone in one ear.
What they gonna do if they see it?
I don't know, cause I don't know. I still feel like connected.
Don't people have like the Bluetooth in their car?
They do, and I assume that they know that I'm doing that. But I won't take any chances. So just so they don't think I'm crazy, I just put the headphones in, and that way I can, myself, and I have great conversations. Yeah, that's my essentials.
That your mother used to drive you out of your neighborhood?
Yes.
Talk to me about this a little bit.
So it's funny enough. This is why I like driving around. So my mom was a single mom, and so we used to do these things called free fun. And free fun was literally driving around. We had certain things that it wasn't completely free. We had to stop at certain places, like 7-Eleven, Nachos, don't judge us, was the jam back in the day. And then we would drive around, and the part of the free fun was the rule. We would drive around. Sometimes my mom had to do errands, so that would be part of it. Sometimes we were just exploring. And the rule was we could stop anywhere, like, I wonder what's that way. And then she would turn that way.
Wow.
Or I wonder what's down that street. So we would turn down that street. Or I wonder what that store is. So we would go to that store. And I didn't realize it at the time, but as an adult, I realized it infused me with a level of curiosity and willingness to explore. And then we would purposely like go to the really nice neighborhoods. And these folks, look, I don't care what nobody says to me. They know they got nice shit. They leave the lights on from front to back, top to bottom. And if you don't think I'm about to look in your windows and see all your decorations, you're wrong. I'm looking. Yeah. And the funny thing is, and I say this to people and they don't believe me, I don't want to see the people. That's skeevy. That feels weird. So if I see people, I look away because it's weird. I don't want to see the people. I want to imagine myself in the space. So one thing that was really great is I would see how people lived. And as a young girl, it's like literally seeing that, you know, growing up mostly in apartments and then living with my father and being in a house, I just didn't know how the people live. And I had assumptions, but I didn't know. And so to drive through these neighborhoods and see this beautiful landscaping, see how much space people had. But one thing I noticed that was really interesting is that these folks will have beautiful houses, all this land, these staged front porches, and I have yet to see people sitting on their verandas. Right?
Outside,
like,
yeah.
I want to see, fine, I want to see some happy white people drinking lemonade on the veranda, but I don't even see it. They just got these nice decorated staged ass places and not even enjoying it, right?
Yeah.
But for me, at least driving around, the visual of the beauty of it is really great. And that's funny enough what made me fall in love with the neighborhood that me and my husband are now in, is because when I was driving around in this neighborhood, I would drive around and see these big, beautiful houses and black people were coming out. And I was like, oh snap, Mr. Johnson. It's like, Mr. Johnson. And it was beautiful. So what it meant for me, for my mom to plant that seed and give me that energy of exploring and seeing outside and what that means to have the privilege and the freedom to do that. And it's interesting because I realized, which is kind of like a story of my life, I can drive far and wide and literally just with no direction, no GPS. I've always been able to find my way home. It's just really interesting. No matter how much I wind around and when loop around and all this good stuff, I always find my way back home.
It resonated with me so much because and I was talking to our producer about it, Mel, and I was like, it was something that I had also experienced. Like I grew up in North Philly near Temple. We used to ride around like around the holidays, like Christmas, I think, and then
and look at the lights.
Go out into other neighborhoods where, like you said,
did you
white
also
people.
Do Halloween? Did you ever do Halloween in the different neighborhoods?
I did do too. Like, I feel like it was Halloween and Christmas, and we would drive out like into like the suburbs or some like better neighborhood.
What did that do for you? Like really, like, you know, because I think it is a cultural thing. So we literally went trick or treating in the like. Look, they get half candy bars in this neighborhood. We out.
I do think it instilled some of the same things that you're saying. So I grew up in North Philly for, I want to say, like most of my life up until I was like a teenager and went away to college. But my aunt, she used to live in Germantown. I used to always think that she was like rich, but she would take us to like Chestnut Hill or like Mount Airy, all of these places, and I end up living in all of those areas that, you know, like when I was a young kid, I was like, wow, they're doing like this in this neighborhood, or they're having this kind of activity, or, you know, like something just interesting, and then you end up in that space and like, how did I even get here from like North Philly or whatever, you know?
Exposure is a thing, right? It is a thing, and it's funny because even the way I grew up was kind of like a mix of both of those things, being able to grow up in one place and go see those places and then end up living in a place that's like those places. But I think what's really still interesting to me is that, not to be cliche, but at the end of it, everybody's kind of human. It's literally the difference of like being in closer proximity, being in the city, where I think there's some value to being closer together because of the concern and care and the mindfulness you have to have for how you impact and affect other people, compared to being what stereotypically in the suburbs is being separate, so you don't have to be as connected because we're not bouncing off of each other the same. And how do you maintain that even as you kind of grow and stretch and create this more space? So it kind of goes full circle with the question you asked me about driving, right? Even though I still appreciate this kind of separate space to drive and just get into my own thoughts, I cannot separate myself from the fact that I'm still part of a greater whole. I still have to be mindful of how I impact other people.
To license
Do you go on road trips?
I realized I would like during the bright daylight with appropriate snacks. I actually like a good road trip. One of the funniest, best, significant road trips I took was the road trips that brought me here to Philly. And it was moving from Minneapolis. So then I drove from Minneapolis 7 hours back home to Kansas City. Met my best friend in Kansas City who was allergic to cats, but because she's such a road dog, took a probably slightly unsafe amount of Benadryl, got in the car with me to drive from, because at the time she was going to grad school in Maryland, in Silver Springs, right? And I was moving to Philly. She flew into Kansas City, got in the car with me in the allergy causing cat, and we drove across 17 hours it took us. We got chased by a dang near almost tornado in Iowa. We had to stop. Crazy storm. My cat, shout out to my evil ass ex-boyfriend at the time, he had dropped a DJ record crate on my cat's tail, so she had her tail bandaged up, had a cone on her head. It was like the perfect storm. My friend was sneezing and drugged up on Benadryl. A tornado was chasing us. We stopped in Iowa, but literally dropped her off in Maryland, drove the rest of the way up to Philly, and the rest is history. That was the most epic road trip ever.
So how did you run from like a tornado kind? Is that like how it is in the movies where you just like see it winding up behind you?
You see it rolling up, and you like, we gonna stop at this motel. Now, as a black person, stopping at any random motel, it might not be safe, but you gotta take your chances. It's like, look, either this tornado or this unsuspecting group of white people in a motel. But either way, we about to try it, and it turned out to be wonderful. I mean, when I say we were driving in the middle of the day, it was 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon. We had to stop because the sky turned charcoal gray. The clouds were like funneling. It was a tornado. I don't know. I can't remember if it touched down, but it rained really, really hard. Like, we literally needed to like not be on the road at that time. And that's how I know she's my dog. That's how I know she's my best friend forever.
She definitely was ride or die.
She was a ride or die.
Erica, I just want to say thank you so much. This was really like a good conversation.
Oh my gosh, I had a great time.
I learned a lot about you. I learned a lot about like the driving experience, and what that has been like for you. So thank you so much for riding with us today.
Thanks for doing this show. This is fun.
No problem.
Yes.
And before you go, because you didn't talk about what you do a lot, you didn't say. So I know I mentioned Small But Mighty Arts in the beginning.
I do some
You're
things.
welcome to talk about that, and I know that you do a lot of consulting and other things. You're welcome to share that with our guests.
Look, what I'm going to put it in terms of driving. So when I am driving, I'm usually driving to meetings for my consulting work, and so I do program development and project management. So anybody who is doing work where they're coming up with a new program or project idea, I'm usually a person that can help them strategize and to think critically about that using tools of innovation and structure and strategy and design, specializing in the arts and higher education. See how I practice that?
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, thank you so much, Erica. Would you like to tell people where they could find you, or?
Oh my gosh, I guess if I have to do social media, as long as you're not doing it while you're driving in your car, you can find me on Instagram at RapsSoErica, which is a mix of my performance me and my Mimi, which is RHAPSO Erica with a C. Yeah.
My conversation with Erica made me think more about the experiences of being a transplant, coming to a brand new place and laying down the foundation for your adult life. Erica's experience with her mother and access to neighborhoods outside of her own made newness feel like possibility. What new possibilities will you explore on your next drive? This episode was produced and edited by Tezarah Wilkins. Story editing and additional production from Melissa Sweet. Follow us on all social media at howtodrivepod.com. Listen and subscribe wherever you find your favorite podcast. And you can check out all things Who Taught You How to Drive on our website at www.how2drivepod.com. Tune in 2 weeks for our very last episode of the season. We want to thank you all for sharing and listening and giving lots of feedback. We appreciate you always riding with us. This podcast is fueled by PRX and the Google Podcast Creator Program.